next presenter is Mallory Blankenship, and I should also mention Mallory is one of the two awardees of this year's NNLM Region 3 Student Development Award. So we're happy to have Mallory with us today presenting on mesh at the reference desk.
Let me share my screen really quickly. All right. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, hi everyone. My name is Mallory Blankenship. I'm a graduate student at the University of North Texas. My concentration is in archives, and I'm also earning a graduate academic certificate in health data science. Today, I want to introduce MESH, or medical subject headings, and how we can integrate that in a reference desk environment, putting a little bit of a particular emphasis in MESH on demand. So mesh is a controlled, hierarchically organized vocabulary, and when you have a controlled vocabulary like mesh, it makes it immensely more helpful to search, catalog, and index articles because it provides for consistency across the board, which is also known as standardization. So when we look at a mesh term, they kind of have a certain anatomy to them, and we can think of them akin to the parts that make up a reference interview. So when a patron approaches the reference desk, oftentimes they'll come with a broad, overarching subject that they want to learn about. So as an example, say a patron approaches you and they want to learn more about depression. So that would be our main heading in this case. But in order to properly service this library user, we need to know a little bit more about what they want to know about their topic. And that's where subheadings come in. So subheadings might be the equivalent of a librarian saying, can you tell me a little bit more about what you want to know? So we can kind of think of this as the subheading portion of a reference interview. Going back to our reference interview analogy, if the library user says, well, I want to know more about medications and how they treat depression, medications would be the subheading for our main heading of depression. Oftentimes, patrons will want their information delivered in a certain format, and MESH is no different. Publication characteristics allow searchers to specify the format of the information they want to access. Finally, supplementary concept records are a way to streamline the process of adding new information. These were super helpful during the pandemic when new information was being updated daily and needed to be added to the MESH system. So now that we've kind of covered what makes up mesh term, let's switch gears and look at Mesh on Demand, which is a super helpful tool offered by the National Library of Medicine. I think Mesh on Demand is a great alternative for searchers who aren't entirely acquainted or familiar with performing a standard search in Mesh's search builder. The interface of it, which we'll look at later, is kind of similar to a search engine, so it has a lot of user friendliness and intuition for people who are totally new to Mesh. I also like to think of it as kind of a lower stakes environment for getting people more acquainted with how Mesh operates. So let's look at a sample reference interview and let's see how we can apply this to Mesh on Demand as a tool in the reference environment. So here I've just kind of written out a sample reference interview, and let's see if we can identify some key terms that we can plug into Mesh on Demand. So we can see that the nursing student wants to look at current research on maternal health, but of course we have to dig a little bit deeper to figure out what they want to know about maternal health. Later on in the conversation, we find that they are interested in the intersections between gestational diabetes and maternal health. So here we have two terms we can plug into Mesh on Demand. So here's an example of what the interface looks like. You can see we have a search box. Below that search box, when you enter your terms, it'll retrieve 10 similar or related articles. On the right-hand upper corner, you can see there's a Start PubMed search box. And then right below that, the Mesh on Demand tool has pulled relevant terms, and they also pull terms they think we might also be interested in. So I've gone ahead and entered the terms that the nursing student's interested in learning about: maternal health and gestational diabetes. So we've retrieved 10 similar articles based on the terms we entered. What I really like about Mesh on Demand is that it's a great jumping off point for conducting research. Let's say that none of these articles are applicable to what the nursing student is looking for. We can use that Start PubMed search button to heavily expand our search. Or we can focus our search by using the Mesh terms on the side to kind of narrow it in. In short, I think Mesh on Demand is a great tool to familiarize yourself with if you haven't already, and I think its user friendliness makes it a really ideal choice for both librarians and library users alike to learn. Here are my references, and here's the funding statement. Thank you.
Excellent job, Mallory. Do we have any questions for Mallory? And we have one. Do you find you need to know the exact mesh term when searching, or is it more natural language oriented?
So I kind of did a lot of playing around with it when I was creating this presentation. I want to say that it's very natural language oriented. So I don't really think that you need to know a lot about the mesh terms. It'll go in and pull the relevant terms that it thinks you're talking about for you, which is why I think it's so great for like user friendliness for people who are new to mesh.
That is really cool, Mallory. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much.
So our next presenter is Charlie King. Charlie is also this year's NNLM Region 3 Student Development Award winner, awardee, and she is presenting on unlocking NCBI bookshelf. You can take it away, Charlie.
Hello, let me share my screen real quick. All right, can everyone see and hear me? Good, see the screen.
Yes, we see the slides and hear you.
Amazing. All right, let's get started. So hello, I will be presenting on NCBI Bookshelf today. Before we begin, I did want to familiarize y'all with myself. My name is Charlie King. I'm a Master's of Library Science student at the University of North Texas. My concentration is in youth librarianship. I'm a proud NNLM Region 3 Development Awardee. I live in Plano, Texas, and outside of work, I like to read and hang out with my two, but it's now 3 cats, so that needed to be updated. All right, and before we begin, I did just want to give a little shout out to NNLM Region 3 who did fund my presentation and also the opportunity to be here. So big thank you to them. All right, so what is NCBI Bookshelf? Bookshelf is so many things. It was really hard to narrow it down to these 4 points, but I did my best. So Bookshelf is a free online resource which provides users with unlimited access to a vast range of medical resources and literature. It's a part of the National Library of Medicine, meaning Bookshelf is a trusted source with standards that meet the national level for health information and research. It's a comprehensive collection full of diverse medical books, research papers, and multimedia that cover a wide variety of health information. And most importantly, in my opinion, Bookshelf is open access, meaning the sources are not hidden behind a paywall. It is free for anybody to use. Their mission really is just to promote health literacy, no matter what field that you are in. So that's a really neat thing. Let's go into how to use Bookshelf. In this next step, I'll do a comprehensive step-by-step guide, basically what you're going to see when you're using Bookshelf. When you search Bookshelf on a search engine that you're using, this is what you're going to be met with. Today, we are just going to focus on that search bar, but there are a lot of other cool opportunities within Bookshelf. I conducted a search here, and you were met with a pretty, I would say, it's almost an overwhelming screen, but don't worry, that's what I'm here for. Oh, so sorry, it is not going. Oh. I'm so sorry, guys. I don't know where my screen went. Oh my goodness. I am so sorry. Okay.
You're good, Charlie. It looks like it's Zoom kicked you out of doing the shared screen, so you'll need to go back to your Zoom application and share screen again.
Okay, that makes sense. I was like, oh my goodness. Again, so sorry. Can y'all see it now?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So we were here.
Yeah, make it there. Perfect.
Okay,
Yep,
I'm so sorry about the little intermission, but mistakes happen. All right, so I conducted the search of ovarian cancer. Let's just say I'm doing a research paper on that. And this is what I met with. That's the search that I conducted. I want to focus your attention over here to the filtering options. This is where you're going to see publication dates, when it was added to Bookshelf, the resource types. This is just to get into the finer details of what Bookshelf is. It can be really overwhelming when you're met with so many sources. So I like this in order to filter those dates and publications. Let's focus over to the images on Bookshelf. This is where you can see charts, pictures, graphs, and the fun thing about Bookshelf is when you click on any of these, you will see who wrote it, who designed it, what is going on, and which source that this did come from. Something I really want to put focus on is the search details. I do find this is a very important part of Bookshelf. Oh my goodness, it did it again. I'm so sorry, guys. Okay, can y'all see my screen?
Yes, we can still see your screen.
I'm so
Did
sorry.
it freeze on your computer?
Yes, I think so. Okay, back to the search details. The search details provide users with how their search queries are processed and interpreted by the search engine. It shows the user the exact terms and phrases used to conduct the search. As Mallory mentioned earlier, the mesh terms, this is where mesh terms would be applied. All right, so I went ahead and I clicked on a random source. The fun thing about Bookshelf is every single time you look for a document, a book, anything of that sort, you are always getting that full book. I went through so many different topics and stuff like that, so I can attest that it will give you that full book. Let's go ahead and click on Appendix 1. And this is what you get when you click on that Appendix 1. I really like Bookshelf because it is very user-friendly in terms of doing research. And so if you look over here where the red box is, there are different ways to view the source as well as skip ahead to different parts of the page. So let's say you're not really wanting to look at that introduction, but you are wanting to go straight to the discussion or even the results. You can go ahead and click on those, and Bookshelf will take you straight to those. That way you are able to conduct your research in a very time-friendly manner. Something else I really wanted to discuss is Boolean searching. So Boolean searching, I'm sure most of you are aware, but if you are like myself and this is a new concept to you, Bookshelf really does love Boolean searching. So let's say my paper now is being focused more on ovarian health and not so much the cancer aspect. When I search ovarian health in Bookshelf without putting that not right there, you probably will get a lot of sources talking about cancer. So Boolean searching uses operators such as the word not in order to combine the search with terms and refine the results. So if we look back over here where the search details are, you're seeing that Boolean searching is taking its course and it is using that not in order to get rid of the words cancer, neoplasm. That way I'm able to just look at ovarian health and not so much cancer. That does wrap up the end of my presentation, and what we went over today is we discussed what NCBI Bookshelf is and how to use NCBI Bookshelf. If anyone has any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them, but if not, feel free to contact me. My email's right there on the screen. Thank you so much. And I'm so sorry about technical difficulties.
No, great job, Charlie. You experienced what it truly is to do virtual presentations, and that it doesn't matter how often you practice, something can glitch when it's live. So excellent
Yes.
job.
Thank you all. Thank you all.
Do we have any questions for Charlie? Well, I'll ask a question, Charlie. For the NCBI bookshelf, what was the most surprising thing you found on how to navigate this resource?
I think just how user-friendly it was. So when I got the award, which I'm so thankful for, I came in and I was like, I don't really know what's going on. So I was really scared to do the research over NCBI Bookshelf, but once I started using it, it's so user-friendly that even someone like myself who has that passion in public librarianship and youth concentration, I found it really easy to use. And so I was happy about the interface with that and just how user-friendly it is.
Excellent. And we do have one question is, can you download the books?
Yes, you can. So they are available on PubReader. And something I didn't get to mention in my presentation, but Bookshelf is actually working on a mobile app. That way you can put the books onto your phone or a Kindle reader, things like that if PubReader isn't really your cup of tea. But yes, you can download the books.
That's excellent to hear. Pub reader looks strange to me.
Yeah.
So I'm a PDF fan.
It's a little strange.
If I get a choice for that. And we do have another question that's come in, and we have plenty of time, so I'm going to go ahead and ask it. Did you find that these ebooks are also used in Medline Plus?
Yes, they are. So I did find a bunch of books and I did want to see if they were also used in Medline Plus, and they are. So the two are, they work together. They're pretty user friendly with each other, if that answers your question. But yeah, they are.
Excellent. And I'll just do a last call for any other questions for any of our three presenters. I'm doing the teaching technique of counting in my head. I think I've got to a decent number. So we're going to go ahead and transition on. But before we do that, I want to give a big round of a virtual applause for our student presenters. We're so glad you guys joined us and gave your presentations. They were wonderful.
I want to add I'm impressed. You guys did such a good job. I remember being a student and you guys were way better than me. A lot of good poise, a lot of great research, so very good.
Thanks for watching. This video was produced by the network of the National Library of Medicine. Select the circular channel icon to subscribe to our channel, or select a video thumbnail to watch another video from the channel.